It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, we'll be watching the Minnesota Timberwolves playing against the Dallas Mavericks. And guys, for the Mavericks, the early part of the season has not unfolded the way they pictured it. They've struggled to perform on a consistent basis, and it's led to
On the floor for the visiting Dallas Mavericks. Wesley Matthews.
At the power forward position, standing 6'8", number 67.
Welcome, everyone, to this 2K Sports broadcast live from downtown Minneapolis. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge is our sideline reporter. And also joining us on the sidelines, the league's most valuable player in 2004, Kevin Garnett. KG, it is great to have you with us.
Okay, how you been, man? It's good to see you,
Waiting for you to sit right here next to us. That's what I've been waiting
man,
for.
Thank you for having me, man. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Can't wait to get inside your impressions of this game. It'll be a lot of fun. Last outing for Minnesota, they won that game against the Pelicans in New Orleans. It was just a textbook performance. That game was all there. Once they got it going, it was full speed ahead.
Yeah, tough place to play on the road, and you just saw how comfortable they were shooting the basketball.
Amazing, Greg, that the hostile environment had zero effect. Instead, they embraced the challenge and absolutely shot lights out.
Now, a look at Dallas's starting lineup. Smith Jr. runs the point with Matthews at his side. They're the backcourt. Dirk is the 4 with Noel manning the middle. And it's Barnes in at the 3. And KG, 2 decades later, you still look the same. You don't age. You do not.
Listen,
age.
man, listen. I wish I could use the Beyonce. I woke up like this, but actually I woke up like this and worked out some more, and then worked out a little more to look like this.
You look terrific.
You look great too, man.
Thank you.
Man, what's your secrets, man?
I'm following you, watching your advice.
Yeah, right. You've been doing this way, man. Ken, what year is this for you, seriously?
Broadcasting the NBA, 20 years, and then 12 years with 2K.
Man, you're a beast, man. You know what I love about 2K, man? They bring the best in for the best.
You
understand, my dude? Straight up.
That's why we've got
down.
you. But Kevin, you play this game a lot, don't you?
Man,
especially when you were young.
Man, listen, man. 2K is it, bro. There's no other games out here. This is what it is. If you play basketball, if you online, nobody's playing it, nothing else. This is it.
Yeah.
2K is the cream of the crop. It's the gang. They know what it is. It's lit. They know what it is. Seriously, they ain't got to do this. They know.
Now here's Teague. Here's Towns. That misses off the backboard.
And really, despite that miss, they've had a solid start offensively.
Smith kicks to Matthews. And unable there to get the go-ahead bucket for Minnesota. They've gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. And KG, talk about how the greats can just impose their will.
It's almost like another level.
Yeah.
When you see LeBron, what he did to Detroit in that fourth quarter, that's a blackout. You don't know what you're doing. When you see Cole go for 81, when you see Chauncey come down on a 1, these players are blacking out. These are elite players in elite moments, taking the moment. Paul Pierce is one of the best that I've ever seen grab a moment and savor it and just put it in slow-mo. Ain't nothing speeding them up. Special players. But I get a front row seat of seeing Ray Allen, the same thing. He had a great composure about himself to slow himself down and hit pressure shots. Tim Duncan, same thing.
Here's Smith after the made shot from Karl Anthony Towns. Smith against T. Kicks it to Nowitzki. 5 to shoot. Here's Smith. Dallas, no good that time either. Timberwolves leading by 5. Kevin, you were always known as wanting to play and always wanting to practice. You were a gym rat. What did you do when a coach would ask you maybe to take a breather? Let's sit out this game. Let's rest up. Would you welcome that? Would you just say, I'll let you know when I can't go? How would you handle that situation?
You know what? I've always asked the coach to respect the way I get ready for games. I've always asked them to respect the way I approach the game. I've always asked the coach to respect me and my expertise in knowing my body. I'm very, very vocal. Listen, if one person needs rest, and it's me, I know how to raise my hand. I know how to say I need some rest. But, you know, I'm a person who likes to push through a lot of things. I'm a person who understands rest, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm a person who understands that practice makes perfect. And if I can work on something for as long as I can to make something better, because I know at the end when I need it, especially when I dial, I used to call it dial up. When I call, I need the answer.
Hey, Kevin, when you play with Andrew Wiggins, you saw firsthand just how explosive he can be. What impresses you most about where he is right now and where he could go?
Man, Andrew's potential is through the roof. I've told him this countless times that when he wants to, he can. There's nothing that he can't do. It's just about his consistency and how he sees that. I told him that the world is his. I've yet to see a player in our league that has the athletic ability that he has, mixed with the IQ and being able to be players on both sides of the ball if he wants to. This kid is super long, he's fast, he's deceptionally fast. Like, I don't think people know how fast he really is. Great shooter, has a great IQ, not a good IQ, a great IQ. I told him, man, I would like to see him with a little more oomph in his step. But if you know Drew, he's laid back. He's super cool. He's smooth with it, and his game reminds you of Steve Smith, and where Smitty used to, rock people to sleep. He has a very good patience to his game.
And here is Nowitzki after Jimmy Butler made that last three-pointer. Nowitzki a screen, shoots off the screen, tips it, controls the rebound, and puts it back up and in. Noel's got his first bucket in this one.
Don't you love how Noel just sticks with it, never gives up on the possession, working really hard for his guys?
Yeah, that's a tough call right there, and really a tough break for the D.
Noel against Towns. He feeds it to T. Over Smith. Kevin, especially back in Minnesota, you have some Hall of Fame battles with a guy named Tim Duncan. Talk about what those games, what those matchups were like.
Timmy, man. Timmy's very crafty, man. Our battles used to be just, especially as young guys, man. Young guys trying to establish themselves in a gritty league at the time, full of some older, dominant names at the time. Michael Jordan, Elijah Malone. The time where the forward position was a very, very tough position. But Timmy was one of them ones, man. Used angles very well. Was very long. Had a lot of counters. Very strong, and had an inner beast that people really didn't really talk about because you didn't really necessarily hear or see it. But man, Timmy's one of the best, man. It's not by coincidence. He's one of the ones.
And so it's Dallas with it, following the bucket by the Timberwolves. Nowitzki a screen. Clock at 4. And Matthews kicks to Smith. And it's Smith again missing.
Struggling to make shots this quarter and making it hard to catch up.
Well, the fans out there watching this, Kev, can you talk about why it's so incredibly difficult to win an NBA title, to become a champion? Why is it such a tough process?
Well, just imagine having a goal and you're not pursuing the goal by yourself. Just say you and somebody else.
Relying on somebody else.
Relying on somebody else,
yes.
Okay? So let's just say you and someone are doing something, walking up a hill. Y'all getting ready to go walk up a hill. Well, the speed in which you want to walk at might be different from the other person. And what you realize about when you're trying to reach any goal is that you have to be connected. You have to be understanding of, we're going to walk up it together like at this speed, like this. We're going fast, we're going slow. It has to be a great level of communication and understanding. At the same time, you have to have the same work ethic because you have to understand that you're together. And you don't get to go at this level and leave someone behind. You have to you got to pull them, you got to keep up, whatever it is. All this goes into trying to win.
It sure does. That's right. And Kev, you think of the great ones. You, Kobe, Jordan, Timmy. Yeah, how about him? They worked harder than anybody else, Kevin.
And what you learn is that the similarity or the parallel that you all have is our inner animal. that you never speak about. You know, we're all a little off. We're all a little dark, but that's what pushes you through pain. That's what pushes you through tough moments. When someone says you can't, when someone says this is not possible, this is unreal, no one's ever done it, that's the moment you're looking for. The moment someone told Kobe that he couldn't get over 50, 60, something Jordan couldn't do, he was driven in that. And if Phil wouldn't have stopped him, he probably would have reached 100 points.
He probably would have, yeah.
You know, he did Will Chamberlain a favor. And that's just real. He was in that type of mode. We all share that passion. We all share that drive. And the ones that have that inner darkness, we all understand.
It's like a split personality, huh?
It's almost like another level.
Yeah. Here's what Minnesota's going with right now. Jang, he's checked in for Gibson. Crawford comes in for Andrew Wiggins. And Tyus Jones subbed in for Jeff Teague. And KG, you're retired from the game now, and you're stepping into the broadcast business a little bit now, aren't you?
Man, you see me?
How do you like it?
You know what? Area 21 is something that is authentic. It's me. I'm having a great time watching the games. It's really cool being a fan now. I can root for people I want to root for. I don't have to worry about prepared and who I'm going to guard, and I'm getting the tea. So you know what? It's a great time. It's work. You know, it's not just you go on there and you have a bunch of fun. You know, we actually get some things done, and but we have a great time, man.
You're in that.
Hey, Kev, listen, watching you, being around you, you know, man, the great rest in peace to Craig. You know, Ernie, Charles, all these great influences, man, has definitely helped. Not just me, but our younger generations of broadcasters, man. It's totally. I didn't see this being my lane, but I'm having fun with it.
Doing a great job. Kevin, it's been said that some guys hated to play against you. Is there someone you hated to play against for whatever reason?
No.
You enjoyed every jump?
I enjoyed every competitor, because on the offensive side of the ball, I was always challenged when to use counters or what type of moves I was using. I took a lot of pride in having a variety of moves for different types of defenses, and each guy is going to bring out a different side of the offense in you. And then turning around and then being that defender and being able to guard the post player or the post or whatever the post player was or whatever. Rasheed Wallace was always a tough guard. Tim Duncan was always a tough guard. Zach Randolph was always a tough guard. Chris Webber, Dice, Karl Malone.
Great names. And Kevin, you've recently gotten a chance to do more TV. Your show Area 21 has been tremendous, and the critics love it. Talk about this chapter of your career.
Well, it was something that I wasn't planning on, but, Turner brought me a great concept, and it fit the mold of what any man cave is, and that's really what it is. But the fact that we can go in, watch the games on multiple channels, see multiple games, articulate it, give it from a perspective of a player, coming fresh out of this generation of players, giving understanding to this generation of players is very important, because these players now are very different. Teaching these young players, still being mentors of these players, very important, and still loving this game. It's still a beautiful game, man. The game is growing. I'm watching these kids do all types of different stuff, man. That the creativity in our game now is so heightened. So yeah, I'm having a bunch of fun, which is one thing I never forgot. The piece of advice you've always told me, man. So you continue to enjoy what you do, and it'll show. And I'm hoping that I'm making you proud of that, Kay. I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
You're an incredible ambassador to all of those things. The game, the fun of life. You capture a lot of the fun of life.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm enjoying it. So, hopefully it shows.
Kevin, when you entered the draft, no player had made the jump from high school to the NBA in 20 years. And what were your emotions when your name was called number 5 overall?
Oh, man, I remember that. It was
17 years old.
17, just turning 18 at the time. I was in like a whirlwind, to be honest. A lot of people don't know it's a lot of stuff that goes up into the draft. Things that I wasn't aware of. You're training twice a day. You're trying to get ready for the combine. You're trying to get ready for pre-draft. You got to do workouts. This is all new to me. On top of still going to high school, trying to, graduate and stuff. So I figured it out. I hustled and I bustled and I juggled a bunch of different things. But once your name is called, it's almost like the culmination. It all comes together. It's a special moment for just you and your family and your loved ones and ones around you. And when my name was called, it felt like the world had stopped and everything was going very slow.
Timberwolves leading by 8. Here's Crawford. And Zhang kicks to Muhammad. Towns the screen. And Muhammad has it in the corner. And he's good on the three ball. Muhammad's got 5 points so far.
And off to an incredible start here early from long range.
Barnes outside. And a miss there on the triple.
Well, you're trying to answer the three, but you force up a shot that he would have been better off passing up.
And here is Muhammad. 14 points from him the last game against the Pelicans in New Orleans. Here's Jones. Minnesota working now with the new shot clock. 3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. Muhammad against Barnes. Now here's Muhammad. He's guarded closely. Noel against Zhang. It's stolen by Berea. 2 on the clock. He takes it up and lays it in. 6 points for him.
I'll tell you, don't let the diminutive size fool you. This guy is not intimidated and can get his shot in the painted area.
And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves in control with a 9-point lead to end the quarter. They've dictated the pace, pushed the ball at every chance, and it's paying off for them. Back right after this. And Dirk Nowitzki steadily climbing the all-time scoring rankings. He talked about the remarkable journey of his long and illustrious career.
When I first got here, my first year was so tough that I didn't really know that I can make it in this league. To be named with all these names is an unbelievable honor, and it's been a crazy ride.
Dirk has proven himself through the test of time. As tough as it may have been back in his rookie year, he overcame those obstacles to become this elite NBA player destined for the Hall of Fame.
And people do talk about players being a Dirk Nowitzki type. You're right about that. And that's a type any team would like to have. One of the greatest power forwards in the NBA's history.
And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. And let's quickly break down the game we're watching with the Timberwolves, guys.
Well, already in the first period, they found ways to get this offense ramped up.
Well, I think one key is they've controlled the tempo so far. And I know it's early, but it helps to have this kind of lead.
On the floor for Dallas, Harrison Barnes is out there with measuring. Then there's Harris. Then it's Curry. And it's Berea in at the point. Now here's Jones. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Kevin, one of the biggest moments of your career, the 2008 championship with the Boston Celtics. Talk about the camaraderie among that group of players.
Kev, I can tell right away that we had something special getting together right in September, right before the year started. We started working out together. We started sharing concepts and how we saw the game. Right away, I can tell that the appetite was there. 1 through 15 guys. It's very rare that you're able to get that many guys in that early. As soon as Danny, signed guys, we were in, we were lifting, we was just, around each other, understanding each other, playing a lot. We was playing a lot. Then, fortunately, we was able to go off to Rome that year. Rome was a good distraction for us because we had to lean on one another.
To bond a little bit.
Seriously, because, none of us spoke Italian. If we wanted to go somewhere, we was always 3-4 deep, and no one was asking and no one was telling us to be with each other. We were just naturally being with each other so much that whenever you saw us to the restaurants, 9, 10 of us, that carried over to practice. Then we got 2 teams that are very competitive. Doc's letting us be who we want to be, and he letting us play with passion, and our practices are over the top aggressive, and to the point where it's too competitive to where he has to come in and separates us and, take the balls and cut the lights out and get us out of here, to the point where he just lets us go. Now we start bringing concepts to him. He started trusting our IQs. Now we start putting a couple of things on defense, Thibodeau's in there. He's implementing stuff. When this flow is going like this, you don't know that you're going to win it all, but you know you're on the waves of something special. And that's how that felt.
And And some changes here for the Timberwolves. Gibson comes in for Towns. And it's Teague in for Tyus Jones. Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Dallas. Matthews comes in for J.J. Barea. And the call will be against Jeff Teague. That's his first foul. Kevin, you accomplished everything individually as a teammate. Anything that you wish you would have done, any player that you wish you would have played with, any regret in that form that lingers with you in retirement?
No, nothing lingers. Obviously, you sit back and think about it.
Well, Taj Gibson, a terrific athlete, easily gets off the floor to finish with authority.
That was a terrific replay brought to you by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Dallas calls timeout. All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Kevin, Rick Carlisle is one of the most respected head coaches in the league, especially for his X's and O's. But Bucks coach Jason Kidd played for Carlisle, praised his disposition. He's never up and never down, Kidd said. There's no panic in it. He gives you that sense of security to go out there and make a play. Kevin?
Gotta love Coach Carlisle, D.A., an even-keel guy who places a lot of trust in his players. For Curry. And here we can now take a look at how the ratio was between the threes and the twos last season for the Mavericks.
And their offense centered around the three-point shot. That was the guiding principle on every trip. Their first goal was finding an open look beyond the arc, getting that extra point every chance they could.
To the inside, Wiggins, and that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Teague's got his 7th assist of the game with that last one. Mavericks trail by 12. And Kevin, welcome to the 2K team. I didn't realize how much you love NBA 2K.
Oh, man, 2K is always loud, man. I'm a super fan. This game is going all over the place, bro. Like, seriously, like, I'm geeked to see what's next, man. They got everything down. I'm sitting here watching all the little small intangibles that come with the game. I'm watching the game grow. I'm watching how better players are getting. I'm watching the online play, man. It's lit. It's lit. I can't wait to see this.
Count that one. And the Timberwolves lead has been cut down now to just 8 points with the basket from measuring. And Kevin, there was such a whirlwind around your trade to the Celtics from the Timberwolves. What were your thoughts and emotions at that time?
You know what? Being in Minnesota at that time, it was very difficult for me. I didn't necessarily want to leave. I had a goal to bring the city a championship, and I felt like I could do that. Nothing worse than when you have to deal with the reality of change. I'm not the one for change, even though I do know in order to process or progress better, you have to embrace some change. So with the help of my friends from Chauncey Billups, Teron Lou, I sat and I thought through it with those guys who had been through the trade process and talking to me, getting me to understand my options. And once I understood all my options, then I just, it was about what was best for me and my family.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. A stupendous finish in traffic. Measury's got his 3rd basket of the night right there. Minnesota leading by 8. Outside Gibson. Whoa!
Well, a point guard must understand window of opportunity, and Jeff Teague specializes in exactly that.
And Kev, you had a voice in where you'd go from Minnesota. How did all that play out?
I sat with my wife, and we all kind of went through it and thought Boston was the best situation. Paul and I had great bones and great history that I don't think the world really knew. We have been knowing each other since 14, 15. I played with each other younger, and I had a chance to play with Cole, but that really didn't go through. A lot of people don't know I had a chance to play with Steve Nash also, but I wanted to play with Stoudemire, and that wasn't the case. So I decided to go to Boston. Ray and I knew each other from South Carolina. And then, you know, the Rondo piece was a huge piece for me. You know, I had followed the youngster in his first year and just watched his growth a little bit, even though I was in the Western Conference. And then when I got to Boston, I knew they had good pieces like Kendrick Perkins and Tony Allen. I wasn't aware of the big baby piece yet, and then I wasn't sure on the Posey part. And then all of a sudden it started to come together, Eddie House, and then all of this. And
great names.
I mean,
great names.
Just all alphas, all guys able to stand up and speak for themselves and be articulate, and you know, all different facets, and you know, very similar facets of who we are personality-wise. And a lot of people just don't know that team there. I don't think another coach could have coached that team other than Doc Rivers.
By himself, and it's slammed in by Teague.
Well, Kevin, Jeff Teague leaks out perfectly, uses his speed to beat everybody up the floor.
Mavericks trailed by 8. Kevin, some of the relatively new rules protecting players, the breakaway, the flagrant 1, the flagrant 2. Are you in favor of all this stuff?
I'm in favor for players' health. You know, anything that is going to be detrimental to a player's health, I feel like, you know, the player's health is the first and only obligation. That's all I've ever worried about. You know, foul play, you know, I think every player should always understand it's a way to foul. It's a way to be able to, you know, send a message. But in the heat of the moment, I get it. You know, things happen. But just I hope that all players out there will continue to, you know, to care about and respect the game.
Dallas calls timeout. And KG, so great to see you. It takes me back. It really does.
A lot of people don't know, man. We got real original ties, man.
Back to the beginning.
95, man. My original man right here.
Here he was, man. You were a thrill a minute, I'll tell you that.
Man,
a thrill a minute.
Now look at us. 21 years later, dog. Man, can you believe
We're still
this?
standing.
We are. They haven't caught on yet. Don't say it.
Okay. Okay. Kevin, over the years, we've seen a number of super teams develop, and in the Warriors' case, it's not the big 3, it's the big 4. Is this a trend you see continuing? You did it in Boston.
Man, look.
You were the original big 3.
It seems like it, eh? You know, right.
You were the original big 3.
You know what? It's like an innovative type of thing, right? I didn't even know that we were doing that. Right, because LeBron come back and do what? LeBron goes to
Miami. He's the big 3 right down there. Yeah.
And then what? Then it just starts morphing into these different things, right?
KD to Golden State.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What do you think of it?
I think this is pretty much the norm. You know what? Listen, I think KD took a lot of heat for it, but when you really think about what he's doing, is that, let's say 20 years from now, he sits back, he wants to talk to Steph, he wants to talk to Draymond, he's talking to Clay. These are all going to be 3 greats with him. I'm just talking about those 3 guys. He's playing with 3 other greats. I'm sorry. If you had a chance to play with 3 other greats in the prime, Kev, you're going to do that. And if you don't, then something's wrong with you.
And Jang gets it to go. Jang's got the lead up to 12 now for the Timberwolves.
Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
Harris with it. 9 points last game. Nowitzki with the screen on Butler. Harris kicks to Noel. Nowitzki gets a wide open look. From the top of the key, he buries it. Nowitzki's got 9. And Kevin, you look at the star players joining up today. At the end of the day, it's about winning.
The game is about winning. More importantly, it's about these bonds that you're able to establish. Those guys are going to be brothers forever. Now, I get the whole OKC, him leaving, right? But this is morphing into something else, and I think that this is going to be part of the norm.
Championships.
It is, man, and that's what you're in this for. You go to build these things. I don't know if I would have done it like that, but I understand it. I get it. He's playing with 3 other greats that's making the game more efficient for him, and it's working. But, yes, I see this being the norm in the league.
Teague against Smith. 6 to shoot. Butler in the corner. Looking for Gibson. He gets it there. Over Smith. Kept alive, Minnesota. Butler. Gibson passes to Jang. Smith against Teague. Outside Butler. In the corner, it's Wiggins. To the wing on the left. Here's Gibson. The kick out to Teague. Jang, a screen. Back to Teague. They shoot again. Unable to get that one. And the Mavericks going the other way now. This their first chance to take a look at the Timberwolves this season.
Yeah, and they lost the season series to this squad last time around. Maybe a little extra motivation tonight to show they've improved.
Back to Matthews. There's a screen by Noel. Matthews, no good.
I'd say that's been the story of this guy's night. He can't get anything to fall.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. Here's a peek now at the 2K leaderboard. This year, these teams have made the most of their offensive rebounds. The Timberwolves, number 1.
And that's the way they have to play in order to win. They've got rebounders, so they've got to go after those second and third opportunities whenever they can.
Here's what Minnesota's going with right now. Towns, he's checked in for Gibson. Crawford comes in for Andrew Wiggins. And Tyus Jones subbed in for Jeff Teague. Kevin, we know how hard the players work, the elite players work the hardest. We know the coaches work so hard. Everyone in that coaching staff, everyone wants the game called right. Is an added referee something that would help the game in any way, do you think?
More eyes on it.
We got 3 right now.
Listen, that's a lot,
That
man.
is a lot.
And we're yelling at those 3. Listen, more eyes on the prize, if you will, so be it. It's just about how the game is. You want referees to be consistent. You want referees to also let the guys play a little bit. You know, that's just my preference. I'm not a league official, nor do I know flow and momentum. I'm just talking from a fan perspective and watching it.
Yes.
But, you know, as a player, I find things to complain about because that's what a player does when it comes to advantage versus disadvantage. But fourth ref, I don't think it would hurt. To me, it would be about how they were calling it.
Jones kicks to Towns. Here's Butler, and it's Butler with the jam.
What a quick read by Towns, always keeping his head up.
1:24 left now here in the second. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Barnes with it. Butler covering. There's a screen by Noel. 5 to shoot. And here is Barea outside. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. Towns has got rebound number 9 now. What an effort here tonight. Adding a lot of flavor to the mix, Kevin Garnett. Kevin, thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure. Hope you join us again sometime.
Man, Kevin, it's always a pleasure, man. It's always great to see you, man. Anytime you need me, you holler at me, all right?
Future Hall of Famer and a terrific person, Kevin Garnett. And Doris, one of the things that really strikes me about KG, he's as smart as he is athletically gifted. What a treat to have him join us tonight.
Well, I'm in awe of his enthusiasm, and it's not just when he's talking, but when others are talking as well. There's so much life to the conversation. Everything he brought to the court for 21 years, he now brings to the booth.
Minnesota making a switch here. Gibson's checked in, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Jones.
Playing with lots of energy here, trying to cause turnover.
I love the tenacity right now. Definitely on the prowl, looking for every opportunity to make a steal. The other team has got to be sharp. Oh, Kev, love the connection Noel has built with his teammates. Smart at knowing when to time that alley-oop.
Crawford's shot is good. There's 21 seconds left in the first half. Now, here's Barea. An 11-point game for him in the win against New Orleans.
Yeah, I was also struck by how well he shared the basketball. He created a lot of easy buckets with that passing ability.
Nobody near Barnes. And poor shot selection there. Not a high percentage look for him. And so it's Minnesota in command with a 16-point lead as the buzzer sounds. And their ability to get points in the paint has made all the difference in this one. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Kevin, thanks. New Orleans, you guys had a tough time stopping their offense in the first half. What do you have to do differently?
You know, we got to protect the paint. They're getting way too many easy baskets. You know, that's us communication on front and the post and, you know, just communicating a lot more.
We'll see if those changes stick. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And stay with us, folks. We'll be back just after halftime to get the third quarter started.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime
Welcome back,
Show.
everybody. It's the Halftime Show on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here with Kenny. The first half went really well for Taj Gibson. He had 12 points, 2 steals, and 1 assist. And Kenny, what did you see out there from the Timberwolves?
Well, it has been an electric performance. These guys were firing.
And that wraps up halftime as the game.
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. One guy who's getting it done is Taj Gibson.
And through 2 quarters, surprising how aggressive he was offensively.
Yeah, I think this guy was really looking for his shot on every possession. Remarkable effort from him on the offensive end in that first half.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. Teague runs the point with Butler at his side. They're the backcourt. Gibson is the 4 with Towns in the middle. And it's Wiggins in at the small forward. So that's who Tom Thibodeau starts the second half with. Well, Towns does so many things on the floor, already an elite post scorer. But, Greg, one area that he has struggled with at times is his defense against other bigs.
And I think he'll continue to improve in that area. What happens with young guys, though, is oftentimes you're improved how good I am mode when you're young, and you lose sight of some of the things that help you win games. And I think that's one reason why he had one of the worst defensive RPMs in the entire league. But young bigs tend to take a bit longer to develop into great defenders, and I expect he will follow in that line.
And he makes that one.
On the catch and shoot, just so relaxed. Almost looks like Towns is playing a game of horse out there.
There's a screen by Noel. Nowitzki outside. He kicks it to Barnes. Just 5 on the clock. No good that time. Wiggins with some nice D.
Yeah, and they've shown effort and aggression in the paint, really right from the tip. Their rebounding edge right now, massive.
Butler dishes to Gibson. Pass to Teague. Over Smith. Makes a big high bounce and goes in. And it's 7 points for Teague.
Just impressed with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
Matthews passes to Smith. The feed now to Nowitzki. Back to Smith. Noel, a screen on Teague. Here's Smith. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. So many great point guards in this year's draft. Greg, what stands out to you about North Carolina State's Dennis Smith?
Well, I think he's the best athlete of them all. A terror off the bounce, great toughness, and he's drawn some comparison to Stevie Francis when you talk about his bounce and physicality.
Butler against Matthews. Back to Towns. Over Nowitzki. Kept alive. And Gibson kicks to Towns. Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. Now the pass to Wiggins. And Gibson kicks to Teague. And a miss there on the triple. Mavericks trail by 20. Matthews dishes to Barnes. It's good. Barnes has got 11.
Finally, they get one to drop. That's one of their first 4 here in the third.
Left side, Butler. In the corner, it's Wiggins. Pass to Gibson. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
Well, late rotation by the defense, and Wiggins has the vision to find the open man.
The Mavericks have gotten just one of their first 4 shots to fall since coming out of the locker room at the break. And the Mavericks call time here. And when Andrew Wiggins came into the league, there was a lot of fanfare and lofty expectations placed upon him. Many in the league thought he'd be the next big wing star in the league. And, of course, while the hype might have gotten carried away a little bit, Wiggins has shown he's a force on the court.
Right. He's dealing with a couple of things. The hype coming out of college and also being involved with the trade for Kevin Love. There's a lot to live up to there. But this guy has shown an outstanding ability to live up to the #1 pick label. This guy's a franchise talent no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, he's got to make some adjustments here. Just too easy to score in the lane against them right now.
But, Greg, no resistance, right? They're allowing them to get any kind of shot they want close. That simply can't happen.
He's checked in for Dallas. Quickly, let's bring up the list of the top rookie three-point bombers in the NBA. Second, Dennis Smith.
And I think there's a little rivalry among that group of rookie bombers. I know he'd love to see his name all the way at the top of the list.
And that one's good, Barnes.
Kevin, come on now. Harrison Barnes, that ability, boy, is just eye-popping on certain nights.
Gibson passes to Towns, and he banks in the layup. Towns has got 4 points now in the quarter.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
Smith kicks to Barnes. Back to Smith, and he makes good on the layup. Smith's got his second basket of the night.
And Smith likes getting close to the rim, a consistent scorer when he's deep inside.
Gibson the screen. Teague dishes to Wiggins. The kick outside to Butler. Off target from outside. Mavericks trail by 18. And here's Matthews from the arc. And the three ball is good. Matthews has got 5 now.
Well, as always, just a tremendous threat from distance, right? Matthews' jump shooting motion exactly the same every time.
Butler kicks to Wiggins. Dishes it to Towns. Shoots over Measury. Here's Gibson. And it's Noel with the rebound. Noel's got his 5th rebound in this one. Over in the corner, Barnes. Another 3 for Dallas.
With that deep stroke, I like Barnes' ability to switch between the 3 and 4 spots. Two distinct things in terms of spacing on the floor and the requirements of the jobs.
T kicks to Gibson. He gets that one. 16 points for him.
Well, this is the classic hot hand, right? If he can keep it up, their lead will be safe.
There's a screen by Noel. And it's out of bounds. The Mavericks able to retain possession here. And a moment here to look at where the shots have been coming from for the Mavericks.
And the 3 ball really hurting them right now, taking way too many bad shots from deep. Yeah, they've had some decent looks, but when it's not falling, it's hurting your cause. I wouldn't say to go away entirely from the 3, but they've got to do a better job of only taking a 3 when it's a great shot.
And Smith gets double teamed. Matthews with it. Now defended by Muhammad. 3 on the clock. Matthews no good.
I'll tell you, his inconsistency not helping their cause at all.
And the shot goes down. 18 points for Taj Gibson.
Man, have they been effective at getting the ball inside.
Smith kicks to Barnes. There's a screen. The dish to Noel. Gibson with the steal. And now the fast break. Gibson with the ball. Here's Towns. Knocks it loose. Matthews against Muhammad. Back to Gibson. He makes his 10th basket of the night from the field. He has missed on 3 this game only. Mavericks trailed by 18. Doris, looking at the rich history of the NBA, seeing how it's evolved over time, what do you think have been some of the biggest changes from decade to decade as the game has evolved?
Well, For me, my fandom of the NBA began in the great Celtics-Lakers rivalries with the great players like Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Worthy McHale. You know, it's always been a stars league. I think it remains as such. You can move to the 90s and the Eastern Conference with the Indiana Pacers, New York Knicks rivalries. The thing that's remained the same are the stars. Style of play, obviously, is drastically different. The athletes are getting bigger, faster, stronger. Analytics increasingly playing a part. Listen, the game is in a constant state of evolution. Like Kevin Harlan, the game gets better with age.
Oh, man. Thanks, Doris. Over in the corner, Matthews. Pass to Measuring. On the wing, Barnes. Noel, a screen on Towns. Shot to end this cold run. Count that one. And that's 18 points for Barnes.
How about that? Barnes in attack mode. Big-time power move through traffic.
Teague kicks to Gibson. Over Noel. They get it back. Towns, the pass to Teague. Doubled by Smith. In the corner, it's Wiggins. And Muhammad has it in the corner. A three-pointer, no good.
Boy, what a tough night. Imagine what their lead would be if he were having a better night from the field.
Matthews, no good. Timberwolves leading by 16. Muhammad, no luck.
Well, defenders are in the area, and that's all it took to force him to change his release.
Smith against Teague. Barnes kicks to Matthews. Noel sets a screen for Matthews. Shoots over Muhammad. And it falls over the rim and in. Matthews has got 5 points now this quarter.
I'll tell you, you better stay locked and attached to Wesley Matthews' hip, because if you give him room off the pick and roll, he will bury you.
Muhammad. The Timberwolves again can't hit.
One made three for him for the game. Does he focus closer in? Let's see.
Took him no time at all on that one. Smith's got 9 points.
Boy, they've been terrific from beyond here in the second.
Feeds to Wiggins. And Muhammad has it in the corner. Trying to find Towns. Gets it to him. Score the basket is 8 for 13 from the floor.
Well, takes contact, keeps his balance. Nice finish by Towns.
Mavericks trail by 13. There's a screen by Noel. Matthews dishes to Barnes. Over Wiggins. And that one hits back iron.
Oh, a lapse defensively, and they actually get away with it. Bad idea to leave him open consistently, though.
And stolen by Barnes. Expanding his range. Barnes with another miss. Minnesota leading by 13. Wiggins drives in. And Muhammad the bucket on the assist by Wiggins. He's got 7.
Indicative of what we've seen tonight. One team being the aggressor, the other failing to react.
Right, really a disappointing effort on the defensive end. Not offering any challenge at all at the cup.
Smith, the 18-footer, is right on the mark. Timeout. Smith's got 9 points here in the second half.
And you like to see since the half now, he's finally starting to come around.
Timeout called, first of the game for Minnesota.
And Dennis Smith Jr., the 9th overall pick in this year's draft, but voted by his fellow rookies as the favorite to win Rookie of the Year. The Mavericks giving him every opportunity as their point guard of the future.
Jamal Crawford, he's checked in for Minnesota. Tyus Jones comes in for Jeff Teague. And a new group getting ready for Dallas. Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Measury. Curry comes in for Harrison Barnes. Devin Harris is checked in for Wesley Matthews. And Barea subbed in for Smith.
And Dennis Smith, guys, get this, measured a 48-inch vertical, which would tie him for the best in NBA history. He's a perfect fit for the Mavericks, who were in desperate need of some star power and athleticism.
Jones, the pass to Gibson. And stolen by Noel. Crawford with the steal. And a wide open look here for Wiggins. Good on the three-point shot. Wiggins has got 11 points.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
And now the fast break. Gibson with the ball. On the basket by Jones. And the Timberwolves lead by 16.
And that's another fast break bucket. And this is the pace, though, guys, that's been working for them.
You know, I think, Greg, the faster the tempo, the better they are. And I love the pace they're playing with right now.
Nowitzki, no good.
And you could tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Curry against Crawford. And Gibson kicks to Towns. Timberwolves passing it around. Towns is doubled. The shot from the low post is good. Towns has got 8 points here in this quarter.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Barea against Jones. Barea dishes to Curry. Noel was screen on Jones. Here's Nowitzki. That doesn't go either for Nowitzki.
Boy, they leave an area of the floor totally unprotected, and he lets it go to waste.
And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves with an 18-point lead as the quarter comes to a close. They've kept the tempo quick and the defense on its heels, and it's gotten them up big. We come back right after this. Rick Carlisle had some words for his team. Let's hear what he had to say.
You got to have a presence in the lane. Remember, no layups, no layups, no layups.
Rick Carlisle making rim protection a key priority. You heard right there. We'll see if they can really shut down the paint.
And to achieve what the coach wants, it's going to take a lot of communication defensively. Guys helping one another on the floor.
And we're getting underway here in the fourth quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. Our fourth quarter action underway, presented by Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups. On the court for the Mavericks, Dirk is the 4, with Noel manning the middle. J.J. Barea is out there with Harris, and it's Curry in at the small forward position. Noel sets a screen for Harris. Outside for Curry. Clock at 2. Fires at the elbow. Good D by Jones. Minnesota leading by 20. 1 minute now into this fourth quarter. Towns the screen. Jones kicks to Crawford. Towns the pass to Gibson. It's rebounded by Dallas.
Well, it looks like he's going to get the easy 2 points, but the defense recovers just in time to affect it.
That shot wide open.
What a solid pass by J.J. Barea. I tell you, he's not flashy, but you can count on this guy to run the offense the right way.
Butler on the wing. Kicks it out to Crawford, to the paint. And the dunk by Towns.
Just Mr. Reliable again here today, Kevin. I mean, they need his points, and he's producing.
Nowitzki with the screen on Jones. They set the screen. Nowitzki dishes to Harris. Crawford with the steal. Here's Butler. Kicks it out to Crawford. Now Jones. Outside Gibson. Back to Jones. buries the corner three.
Just a little confusion among the D as to who was supposed to be on it.
Butler against Curry. And Nowitzki has it in the corner. Outside Curry. Crawford with the steal. Here's Towns, and the dunk by Towns.
I think this is just one of those nights scoring the basketball. Towns is just showing off.
So far, we've seen them be a bit careless with the ball.
Simply put, out of control is how they played thus far. They're going to have to reel it in and show some more discipline.
Gibson with it, now guarded by Noel. Gibson passes to Jones. And All-Star Week, a fan favorite certainly, Doris. We all love it as broadcasters, as fans. But are there any changes you'd like to make in any event or the weekend overall?
Well, I think one thing that would be fascinating to me is to see the best players, for instance, the Klay Thompsons, the Steph Currys, those people, the best shooters in the league, participate in that particular three-point contest. Think back to Larry Bird when he walked in the locker room and said, who's coming in second tonight? Like, those are great. We can't get enough of our stars. I'd like to see the stars have to participate in at least one event, Kev.
Good thoughts. And he can't stop this drought. Another miss. And here they go. Here's Crawford. Here's Towns. Here's Gibson. Outside, Jones. He dishes it to Towns. Butler in the corner. Clock at 6. Tries again. It's rebounded by Dallas. Nowitzki's got his 4th rebound in this one. Curry kicks to Barea. There's a screen. Towns comes with a double team. Nowitzki for 3. They get the rebound. Butler with the steal. And here we go. Fast break. Towns has got it. Here's Crawford. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
Well, you love to watch Taj Gibson start to cook on the offensive end. Right now, just playing to his strength.
And so here is Dallas. That will conclude their brief 2-game road trip. Harris dishes to Nowitzki. Noel passes to Curry. Kicks it to Nowitzki. They double-team Nowitzki. It's rebounded by Towns.
Boy, I didn't think he had a chance of stopping that lay-in. What a gutsy defensive play.
Towns, the screen. Jones against Barea. Clock at 4. Crawford kicks to Towns. The shot's good. Towns has got 6 here in this quarter.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
For Dallas, they've gone just 1 of 6 from the field to start the 4th quarter. A bit of a slowdown for them right now. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
To the paint. They need this. And the jam by Dirk Nowitzki.
Well, I'll tell you this. If Dirk is free at the rim, you expect the throwdown. Love seeing the big man get up.
Butler on the wing. Jones, no one around him. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. Jones has got a couple of three-pointers now in the 4th for the Timberwolves. Barea kicks to Harris. Noel dishes to Nowitzki. Back to Noel. He feeds it to Harris. 5 on the clock. Unloads. Minnesota with the rebound. And here's Jones. Gibson the screen. Doris, looking at the way the playoffs are set up, the top 8 teams from each conference get in. So at what point might the league eliminate divisions altogether?
I don't think that's far in the future, to be perfectly honest with you. What I'm as curious about, Kevin, is would they ever see the teams, regardless of Eastern or Western Conference, because there seems to be some disparity in level of competition. Is that something you'd like to see, Kevin, where the teams are simply seeded 1 through 16 based on record?
I don't think I'd mind it, Doris, but I do like the fact that, kind of like in the other sports, where you don't have the familiarity, but you always think about what would it be like to see a 5-game series, Cleveland Golden State, whereas in the regular season, just there and at home. And there's something, I think, kind of mysterious, and you can project so many different things. It's great fodder before a series begins.
No question. It'll be very interesting to see which direction the league goes in.
And Towns gets it to go.
Every time he goes up now, it just looks like the shot's going in. He's perfect from the field in this quarter.
Barea with it. And he could not get that one to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. That one is on Towns.
And this is what you have to love about J.J. Barea. Just absolutely fearless and always plays 100% out. That's nice.
And some changes here for the Timberwolves. Jang, he's checked in for Towns. Bielitsa comes in for Taj Gibson. And Shabazz Muhammad subbed in for Jimmy Butler. And a new group getting ready for Dallas. Jeff Withey, he's checked in for Noel. Mike Powell comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. Dorian Finney-Smith's checked in for Devin Harris. And Yogi Ferrell subbed in for Curry. Ferrell for 3. And Jones pulls it down. Minnesota's gone 3 of 4 from downtown here in the 4th. Offensive rebound. Crawford outside. Doris, I've heard you talk often about instituting a play clock from the very beginnings of someone learning the game of basketball.
Kevin, I think this is absolutely critical to the future of the game of basketball here in the United States, because the Europeans right now, from the formative stages, from the youngest someone picks up the game of basketball, play under duress of the shot clock. And the reason that's important is you must be a 3-tool player to play under duress of the shot clock, meaning you've got to be a triple threat. You've got to be able to pass it, dribble it, and shoot it. And to do that with the pressure of a shot clock leaning in on you from those earliest moments is significant. And I know I have the backing of guys like R.C. Buford and Rick Carlisle. They believe, more important than me, intelligent basketball people believe that in the United States, we must institute a shot clock from the time guys and young women pick up the game.
And the Mavericks making a change here. Matthews is checked in. Now well over a decade in the NBA for the terrific J.J. Barea. Undrafted, as you know, Doris, out of Northeastern.
Yes, but he can say he's an NBA champion. Of course, the majority of his seasons with the Dallas Mavericks, as was that Title I back in 2011. Listen, there might be a foot of difference in height between he and partner Dirk Nowitzki, but their games have really meshed well.
And Matthews kicks to Withey. Back to Matthews. Crawford with the steal. Oh, and the jam by Muhammad.
Well, strong, quick, impressive ups by Muhammad.
And the highlight reel replay brought to you by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Excellent work by the talented people in our production truck as well. Finney-Smith kicks to Ferrell. Withey down low. He's against Jang. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. Of course, I didn't know this. You grew up the youngest of 8 children. In what way, if any, did that help you develop the competitive edge you've been known for throughout your terrific career?
You know, I had 4 older brothers, and we played sports my entire life. I picked up the game of basketball at 7, and if you didn't have a little toughness with 4 brothers trying to compete against them, you were going to be in some trouble. So this game has been absolutely great to me.
And I'm sure you remember the first time you picked up a basketball and dribbled a basketball.
No question about it, Kevin. 7 years old, running through some hedges like I was coming out of a locker room. It was special.
From about 16, and it's Bielitsa with the foul. That's foul number 2 for him. Dallas has gotten just 1 of 4 3-pointers to go down for them here in the 4th. Here's Ferrell. Powell with the screen, and Matthews kicks to Farrell. Dallas, no good that time either. Minnesota's gotten 3 of their 6 three-pointers to fall here in the fourth.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the Timberwolves.
This was a team performing to its fullest capability.
A hugely satisfying win, a game that not many will soon forget, and on the other side, one that I think most will try to forget.
And they took charge when it counted, and they'll be notching their 9th win overall.
They can chalk this one up, but these two teams will see plenty more of one another before the season's over.
And you know, when you look at the huge impact he had, just a monster game for Karl Anthony Towns.
He was extremely efficient offensively, got good looks, and really knocked down big shots all game long.
It's Bielitsa. No good that time. Now Dallas takes it the other way. Farrell kicks to Withy, so the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there. That one on Muhammad. The first one falls. And Greg, you wouldn't expect it from a Coach Thibodeau team, but defense was an issue for the Timberwolves last year.
And the Wolves brought in Butler to help with offense, but more importantly, his defense. And Butler, familiar with what Thibs likes to do on both ends of the floor, has the leadership the team needs, particularly on the defensive end.
And Matthews gets it to go.
That's a really good play call. Right where Matthews wants it. He's a master of the catch-and-shoot game.
Another miss by Minnesota.
And you know, he's got the ability, but the question is that really the best shot you can get?
You know, I don't think so, Greg. The defense will give up that deep a shot all day. You got to continue to move the basketball.
Muhammad can't connect. So it's Minnesota winning this one easy. They poured it on tonight. Dominant showing in front of a crowd that loved every minute of it.
And you know, this game could really be a defining one for what they can do when they are playing at their best. I mean, being here at home no doubt helps, and the execution was flawless.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing. All right, David, thank you. And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke,